think it's going. Oh, yeah, it's going. Evening, viewers. Welcome to the Taillight Show. I'm doing it this way around. I normally do it with the other side so I can see the screen. But I thought I'd do it this way today because Wally Cooter. Say hi, Wally Cooter.
Hello. Hi, you bastards.
Hello, bastards.
Hello, bastards.
If you get that joke, you're as old as us. I came down here yesterday. That's my old man, by the way. One day I'll talk to you about why we call him Wall. But anyway, Cooter because he's an old Cooter.
You little whippersnapper.
Yeah, that's about it. That's actually pretty good for what he normally calls me. Yeah, we started pulling the 41 apart yesterday. Had a really good day today, except for the usual problems with these things because when Henry Ford designed them, he was a tight-ass prick and made everybody's fucking life hard. So, anyway, we're on the stubs too, so I'll walk you through. So, the old 41's got no front end in it. So, she ain't going too far until we, I've still got a bit to go. The poor old 41's in the shed here, and, yeah, she's got no front end in it. So, I mean, the spring's in it, but there's no axle. There's no wishbone, there's no friggin'... Oh, the steering... Well, there you go, there's a drag link off the steering box hanging down, but there's nothing else. So the rest of it's all sitting out here.
Some of it.
So this is the way the front end works in these. It's got this A-frame part here is just a lateral locator front and back. That bolts on there, that piece there. I'll use a stubby to point, there you go, the stubby's a good pointer. That bolts on underneath the back of the gearbox. And then obviously the rest of it all bolts in the front. And then the spring hangs off here, off these perches here. Biggest problem with these bloody things, if they haven't been pulled apart for 80 years, is those. That's actually a bolt that goes right through, as you can see to here. And they rust in like you wouldn't believe. We got that one out with enough WD-40 and a big enough hammer. But that bastard there is going to be the bane of my existence. So I'm sort of stuck at the moment, and I'll get on to why in a little bit. That's a rubber ball sort of insulator thing. It's like a ball cover thing on the back of that. Big metal ball inside that. I'm actually really surprised how good a condition that's in. And like even the rest of it, like all the bushes, like where the springs bolt on up here, or the spring bolts on, and all the actual pin bosses where the kingpins go in, and even through the actual axle itself and through the wishbone and that, where it all bolts together, it's actually in really good shape. So that bloody, I'll use my specialised pointer again. When we get that out, I'll be a very happy boy. We'll go into your shed, as I said. There's the old Cooter. Hi, old Cooter. I'll sort of do a video on that. That's what I said was the one that's got family history. That's a 1936 Dodge D2 touring sedan. So I'll do a video on that tomorrow or whenever we get this bucket of shit put back together again. This one here is the one I said to you about. He's had since 1967. That's a Mark 7 Bolwell underneath that. And he bought that when he was an 18-year-old kid. So looking at him these days, that was probably about 143 years ago or something. He's only one stubby in, so he hasn't settled down yet. But anyway, so this is where we're up to at the moment. So I'll put my specialised pointer down on the bench here. So this is why we're doing it, because of this. Put this in it. So wishbone bolts on here. Clearly bolts on here. Oh, look, there's the other perch bolt. And that one actually works good. And here's all the front end and the kingpins. And well, actually, I've just got a drift in there at the moment. Just a doink, doink. Don't get too excited there, lad. So this is what we're trying to gain here to lower it. Because at the moment, I've got extended shackles, spring shackles in it here. And it means the axle about here sits right on the frame on the bump stops. And it drives like a total prick. So put all this back in it, put shorter shackles in it, get my travel back. It's still got the old lever action shockers in it. I did have. They've come off. We found one of them was completely shagged. It was doing nothing. So we're putting telescopic shockers in it. But here's the other problem I've got. So the other thing I need to, where the other problem is created is that the wishbone bolts on here, as I said, when you look at it here, there's the height of it. It goes straight through the drag link. So you got to heat these up, and it's really common. You got to heat the steering arms up. You got to heat them up sort of here, where that white mark is, and get him to go like that, out to about here, and then you go and bring it back, and you got to bring it down about that far, about an inch and a half. You got to bend it. Well, and we're talking in old terms, old metric, imperial terms here, not metrics, because it's a non-metric car. So you got to bend them down here, which is easy done. I mean, people say, oh, you shouldn't bend shit. Well, Blake's been doing this shit since the 40s and 50s. So anyway, so I got to bend that because I got to lower the drag link down a bit, then the wishbone goes over the top. The problem I've got is that at this point in time is that I'll go back out this way. The problem I've got is, and I said about in the other video, there's 8 ton of crap around my hoist. Like, you know, he's got a bigger shed than me, and he's got about 9 ton of crap. But anyway, at least you can get into his shed. You can't get into mine. It's a cool old banger, isn't it? Very briefly, the story of it is this car was bought brand new in 1936 by Wal's grandfather, my great-grandfather. So other than about 10 years, sort of in the middle of its life there in the late 60s when my great-grandfather died. He died in 1966. This car's been in our family its whole life. So and it's been in Wal's possession since about 2017 or something. Anyway, the problem I got is that bloody total fools, I don't call them total fools, have been stuffing us around for a week to get a pressure regulator for a gas bottle. Because I've obviously got to heat that up. Can I zoom that? There we go, I can zoom that, look at that, how clever is that? I told you I'm a tail light, but I'm even discovering shit 15 episodes into my bloody YouTube career. So that bloody thing there, I've got to heat that up to get that out. And then I got to heat up the bloody steering arms and get them into the correct shape. So until I get a regulator for the fucking gas bottle, my coupe sits here 8 feet in the air. Well, it's not 8 feet in the air, it's only about 3 feet in the air with no front end. Oh, that's the other thing too. I said I was going to use the hoist. So he's got a hoist here. I've got a hoist in my shed too. We put it on the hoist and then realised we couldn't lift it on the hoist because the bloody hoist pads down here, you can unscrew them and they rise up like that. The problem with it is in the back of this thing, the rails are basically level with... Where are you going? Don't put beers in the way. No. Jeez, you're advertising local beer now, eh?
Well, why not?
Unless you're getting a quid out of it, I wouldn't be advertising shit. That's why I'm calling them total fools. But the problem is that in the back of this, the rails are basically level with the... Oh, come back to focus, please. Come back. There it is. Abracadabra. The rails in this are basically level with the running boards. But when you look in here, see how much higher the rails are? They're way up here. And when we screwed the bloody pads out all the way, it was going to go straight into the bottom of guards, and it would have shortened my guards to about there. And I'm not really a fan of trying to hunt around everywhere to try and find another set of 1941 Ford guards, to be honest, because, yeah, this thing has got enough weirdness in it already. Because problem with the 40 Ford is they were half a 41 Ford is they were half a 1940 Ford underneath, and they were half what became a 46 Ford. So depending on what bit you're looking at, it's got weirdness all over it. So anyway, there's a Dodge. There's his Bolwell. So I'll take some covers off and I'll do another video. And
There's 3 others.
stay dull. Not like him. He's a dickhead.
No, he's duller than me.